Alrighty, everybody, welcome in to Sinister Jace Kingdom. Now, I know I made a video just very shortly, but I wanted to make this one also because I felt like this needs to be talked about here because I have my opinions on it, and I do think it's a topic that really needs to be looked into, and things need to start changing with it because we're seeing this topic get out of hand. We're seeing people lean into their mental illnesses and it being okay to do things such as this. It turns into a disgusting, vulgar kind of thing, and it really puts a damper on things like dating for women, and it puts a damper on so many things, and then people like me get accused of horrible stuff because they believe everybody has this mental illness. There should be a check on this, and I do think people should actually be looked at even deeper for this. What I am talking about is autism here. All right, so I see myself dealing with a lot of people who have this problem, and I get bullied quite a bit for it, and I can't take it some days. I'm just like, how do you people live with yourself? How do you handle life? And they do whatever they want, and people condone to this being okay. Well, this is a video stating that why this is not okay, and this is why psych wards need reopened in the United States of America. So let's get into this topic and why I think this really needs to be touched on, and why this is a thing that the President of the United States really needs to consider reopening the psych wards for, because there's it's getting worse, and the problem is the people with autism are being left alone and not being stopped for what they're doing. And there's a lot of autism going on in the world that people are utilizing a mental illness to go and touch a woman inappropriately, or even worse. And that's why I want to talk about this. So let's read the article, the person at hand that went through this. I can't find a video, but there is a video of it. I'll go back into my feed and show you guys what it is I'm talking about. So, all right, let's get into this. All right, so I am here on this post, which I saw, and I'm disgusted by this because, like I said on the first part of my video, I am very disgusted by the situation. I am very disgusted at the idea that this mental illness, autism, we've been letting this go for too long, and it's getting worse and worse, and we're seeing people we're seeing men do stuff to women now that's worse than ever. So the line, it should be drawn here soon on this mental illness, and we should reopen the psych wards to this. But I'm going to go ahead and give my take more as I read this article to you guys. So, hello everyone, I am okay, and thank you for all the kind messages. I am sorry I cannot respond to them all. Yesterday, the man who assaulted me was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon, and even in front of another creator's meet and greet, to grab me and my face and try to kiss me. So, this right here is where we're allowing this problem. We're condoning to people who have mental illnesses to do whatever the hell they want and go in, and it's disgusting. Men should not be doing this because this isn't what men do in this day and age. But because we've allowed people to condone to autism and their actions and the way they handle stuff, this is why I'm having a problem with it, because I get harassed because of this. I get bullied over this, and I try to keep sanely as possible, but it is so hard sometimes because these people that have this, people are condoning to them doing whatever the hell they want at this point. And it's like, when does this actually stop? Where's the line? Are they not intelligent enough to understand the line where they are wrong on something because they've allowed the mental illness they use it as a crutch to do whatever they want? Because it sounds like here this guy must have given a note or told people, I have autism, so I'm allowed to do whatever I want. And that is not how things work here in America. Unfortunately, if I saw this guy, I would have laid a smack down on him, because I truly do not like this, and I think this needs to be taken even further. I think she needs to sue the guy that did this to her. I think she needs to sue TwitchCon for allowing this, and I think there's a lot of things going on at Twitch that need to be looked into, and things need changed. As a whole, we're allowing this to get out of hand. So let's just keep reading now. Fortunately, he wasn't able to, but a lot of people have pointed out it could have been a lot worse. I am obviously shaken up by what happened, and it's not the first time I've dealt with something like this. But you can tell you honestly, to tell you honestly, I'm a lot more hurt and upset by how Twitch handled it during and after the fact. Like I said, I don't understand how he was allowed to make it to me in the first place. The security in the clip who reacts is on my own security. It's true, my favorite and usual security guard was banned for holding a stalker's arm to bring him to police at a past TwitchCon. However, there were at least 3 or 4 other TwitchCon security staffs in the area who did not react and let the guy walk away. As you can see in the clip, since they don't even appear in the frame. So pretty much she had a lot of people guarding her, and this one guy just got passed because everybody allowed and condoned to his actions. And again, we're using autism as a crutch to be able to get away with whatever we want. Let's just say somebody is walking down the street, and because the guy has autism, he doesn't like somebody. He has every right in the world to kill that guy. Honestly, you should be able to stand up for yourself if it gets that bad. And this girl should have every right in the world to have her bodyguards protect her, and she needs to start carrying a weapon on her to get rid of guys like that. Unfortunately, guys may lose their life because they are not learning how to handle themselves. Now, they're not understanding how to handle themselves because of a mental illness, okay? The woman who is walking me away is my own personal manager, and behind the booth, the only 2 people who were checking on me were me and comforting me, were her and my friend. None of the TwitchCon staff came to ask me what had happened or if I was okay. My friend, who was present, told me Twitch security were also behind the booth afterwards, joking about how they didn't even see what happened, and immediately laughed and moving on to talk about something else. So, if no one was checking if I was okay or if I needed anything, and they let the guy run away initially, I have no idea what anyone hired. To keep the event safe was doing. So, in other words, she's saying that she doesn't understand why anybody that was there to keep the event safe was just letting this guy mosey about. Stuff like this needs to be starting. We need to really crack down on stuff like this. This is getting out of hand. These were stories we heard about Planet Fitness Gym and the men walking into the women's room. That's on that level of stuff, but not as bad. So, okay. And Twitch statement, they said that the guy was immediately caught and detained. I am sorry, but that is blatantly a lie. He was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet, and I didn't hear he was caught until hours after he attacked me. And it felt like this only happened because of my manager pressing for it, not because TwitchCon staff present thought it was a big deal. I have a lot more I want to say, but I will say it on stream later today instead of writing a book here. So that's the end of that. Unfortunately, she almost got sexually harassed at TwitchCon because some guy who has a mental illness shows up and tries to kiss her and just tried to kiss her. And so I have my take both here and under the comment section. So please use and hold Twitch accountable for their blatantly neglect and disregard. God forbid anything happen to you. All right, so we're going to look into both of their profiles because this is the one I originally followed, and then I saw that she made a video on the subject and YouTube struck her for it. So that guy needs to be checked on to see if he has a mental illness, and this should be the reason the psych wards are opened up in this country. So I had my say, and then I said, I need to say this. This is why we need to start doing a mental check on people. That man had autism, and this is why we should stop condoning to autistic people roaming about. I think any normal man wouldn't do that to you because he knows better. So it's good to see you're safe. All right. So we're gonna look at her profile first. I follow her. I wasn't aware of it. I actually made this video earlier, and then the sound wasn't on. So yeah, very cute. I don't really watch her stream, but she's very cute. The cosplay is nice. I'm not too big on ladies in cosplay, unfortunately. It's just not my thing anymore. I grew past it. Anime stuff like that is a bit for the younger generation, in my opinion. I'm not gonna say I'm like 38, so I'm not gonna be watching anime much anymore. Unfortunately, anime is just a degenerate thing at this point, and that's my take on it. So get offended if you want, but go kick rocks, okay? This is Clarawr. I follow her on YouTube. I started watching her the other day because I saw a video on Melanie Mack, which she schooled Melanie Mack on something, and I was like, this is awesome. I went to see a girl school Melanie Mack because sometimes Melanie Mack needs put in her place, and she don't want to see the truth about things. So that's why I started following her. So, but this is her video of how she got a strike on YouTube for speaking up about this situation. In a few seconds, we'll see the video itself. Right here's the video at TwitchCon. As you can see, the guy just walks up and tries to kiss her. I'm sure he's blaming it on autism, and he's like, oh, I have autism and I can do whatever the hell I want. So he didn't get arrested or anything. He just walks off, and she got struck for it, and right here's the proof she got struck for it. So if you want, please do follow them. I'll give it, I'm shouting out to them. But yeah, that about sums up my thoughts on this situation and what I think, and I'm going to do my outro now. All right, so there you go. There you have it. That's one of the examples as to why this mental illness, autism, really needs to be, people really need to put a stop to these actions of these men, because it is causing one of the biggest problems here in this country, and there are some people who have this problem and come and harass and attack me over it. And it's gotten so bad that they're convinced that being acting like a homosexual towards a guy is completely normal, when I know it's not. I think there's a lot here that needs to be said for this, and I hope you guys sit there and understand. This has become one of the biggest problems ever, and it really, really we need to put a stop to this, because it is so bad right now, and we need to take care of this very, very soon, or things will not get better. We need to start, actually, I'm going to admit, we may need to start bullying these people so they stop. I hate to say it, but we need to start kicking butts. We need to start whooping people's asses and stuff like that these days to make sure they stop doing that. Because this condoning to this isn't allowed, and it's not very good for anybody. And I've had to cut a lot of people off because they have this mental illness, and I can't take it anymore. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you understand where I'm coming from on this. If not, kick rocks. I don't care how you feel. At the end of the day, there's no reason for any man to be doing that to a woman. You allow a woman to condone to it if you get to know her a little bit. And that guy did not know her, and I myself would never do something like that to a woman, because I know a hell of a lot better than that guy did. So, all right. With that said, take it easy, and God bless, and stay safe out there, women, because it's just getting worse, and you need that big tough guy. You may need that big tough guy around soon to make sure he protects you. All right. In the meantime, take it easy. Have a good night, and God bless.